I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having an amazing evening so far. All right, so we're about to start with our lesson for today, and our lesson on tonight is a grade 6 English lesson on coordinating conjunction. All right, and before we start with the lesson on coordinating conjunctions, we are going to the aplusstudents.ca. Once we've clicked on aplusstudents.ca, and then we are going to log in with your username as well as your password. All right, so once you've logged in with your username as well as your password, right, you are going to select the subject of language arts. All right, so we selected the subject of language arts because we are doing English, right? And then we are going to grade 6. So grade 6. And then we are going to scroll down because the chapter that we are focusing on is coordinating conjunctions. We'll click on coordinating conjunctions. All right. So we are in the chapter of coordinating conjunctions, and the lessons that we are focusing on today is identifying coordinating conjunctions and use coordinating conjunctions. So after we've identified coordinating conjunctions, we are then also going to do a lesson on how we can use the coordinating conjunctions. All right, we're going into our first one, identifying coordinating conjunctions. I'm just going to go back. All right, so coordinating conjunctions are used to connect words, phrases, or simple sentences, right? And some of the common conjunctions or coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or, and so. So these are but the most common coordinating conjunctions that we mainly use in order to connect words, phrases, and to connect simple sentences, right? And we said that coordinating conjunctions, it is used to connect the words, to connect the phrases, or to even just connect simple sentences, right? And the most common ones are and, but, or so, which means that you are going to use the words and, but, or so to join maybe like two simple sentences, or you can join phrases, or you can join um, word. It's basically like, yeah, just joining words, phrases, and simple sentences, right? The coordinating conjunction, right? We have and, but, or so, right? Each one, you need to specifically also know which one to use or which conjunction to use whenever you have either a simple sentence or you have a phrase, right? Because it needs to correctly fit within the specific sentence that you will write or that you basically will connect, right? So it's not just about connecting the words, but your words needs to be or your sentences needs to be joined or connected correctly by using the correct coordinating conjunction. All right. If we look at our first sentence, it says Leo is a talented piano player, but he can't read music, right? Which means that but is the coordinating conjunction that that was basically added in order to show the connection between the two sentences. So, which means that Leo is a talented piano player. That is a sentence that can stand on its own. He can't read music is also a sentence that can stand on its own. However, if you join or connect those two sentences, right, by using the coordinating conjunction, which is but, then you basically change that two sentences into one sentence. So Leo is a talented piano player, but he can't read music. And the but, which is the coordinating conjunction over there, it indicates that as much as Leo is great or is extremely talented in playing piano, he cannot read music. And you see, that is why we need to know which coordinating conjunction to correctly um, use to connect the words or sentences or phrases, right? In this case, the but, it connects the two simple sentences. The frosting wasn't firm enough. So the frosting wasn't firm enough. So Diane added more sugar, right? So the frosting wasn't firm enough. So Diane added more frosting, which means in this case that the frosting wasn't firm enough. So in order for us to make the frosting more firm, Diane had to add more sugar, right? And that is why the word so or the coordinating conjunction so is there to join the sentences. The dress was quite expensive, yet I've never worn it. Yet is the coordinating conjunction within the sentence, right? And this sentence means that the dress was quite expensive. She paid a lot of money for it, but she has never worn it, right? And that is coordinating conjunctions. The heater wasn't working. The heater wasn't working. So we all huddled around the fireplace, right? So everybody huddled around the fireplace because the heater wasn't working. So the heater wasn't working. So everybody or we all huddled around the fireplace. So the coordinating conjunction is so, and it connects the two simple sentences. Mrs. Ballard, Mrs. Ballard planted some basil and parsley in her garden. So Mrs. Ballard planted some basil and parsley in a garden, which means that it wasn't just the basil that was planted, but also the parsley, right? We added the parsley too, for example. So the and is the this and that, right? And over here, the and, it connected the two words, which is basil and parsley. Once again, Leo is a talented piano player, but he can't read music. And the but is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence, showing that Leo is a great piano player, but he cannot read the music. And the word but, it connects the two simple sentences. All right, let's go to our test, right? You need to select the coordinating conjunction. Annie works nights and weekends at Patty's Diner. Is it works or is it and? We need to select the coordinating conjunction. Works or and. All right, so if we could select the coordinating conjunction, we can say it is and, right? And it connects nights and weekends. Eric purchased a wool sweater and a pair of leather gloves. So Eric purchased a wool sweater and a pair of leather gloves. We need to select the coordinating conjunction within that sentence. Is it and or is it of? And or of. All right, and we will say it is and because it joins wool sweaters and the pair of gloves. The experiment didn't work, so the scientists started over. The experiment didn't work. The experiment didn't work, so the scientists started over. We need to select the coordinating conjunction within that sentence. Is it didn't or is it so? Didn't or so. All right, we will select so. I'd like a slice of pie or a strawberry milkshake, please. Is please the coordinating conjunction or is or the conjunction? I'd like a slice of pie or strawberry milkshake, please. The choice between the slice of pie or the strawberry milkshake. So we will say the conjunction is or. Gavin tried to read the instructions, but they were in italics. Is the word to the conjunction or but the conjunction? We need to choose the correct conjunction within the sentence. Gavin tried to read the instructions, but they were in Italian, sorry. It was in Italian, different language. So is it to or but the coordinating conjunction? All right, so if we select the coordinating conjunction, we can say that it is but. And the traffic on the highway was awful, so we took side streets. The traffic on the highway was awful, so we took side streets. Is it so or is it on? We need to select the correct coordinating conjunction, which connects words, phrases, and simple sentences. All right, so if we were to choose the correct coordinating conjunction, we can say it is so. Do polar bears live in Antarctica or the Arctic? Arctic. We need to choose the coordinating conjunction either in or or. So either in or or. So do polar bears live in Antarctica or Arctic? So if we were to select the coordinating conjunction within the sentence between in or, we can say or, right? It's either in Antarctica or Arctic. All right, let's go back. We need to use coordinating conjunctions. So now we're going to use coordinating conjunctions. All right. So once again, a coordinating conjunction, right? So coordinating conjunctions are used to connect either words, to connect phrases, or to connect simple sentences, right? So coordinating conjunctions are used to connect words, phrases, and simple sentences. And some of the common coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or, and so. So that is the most commonly used or commonly used coordinating conjunctions, which is and, but, or so. Um, yeah, it says use and, right? So now we're going to know how we can use certain words, right? So when we use the word and, the coordinating conjunction and, we use and to connect the words, right? To connect the phrases and to connect the sentence that goes together or are alike, right? So we use and to connect words, phrases, or sentences that go together or that are alike. That is how we use and. For example, my sister is crying to France is going to France and Spain this summer. My sister is going to France and Spain this summer. We need to choose the correct coordinating conjunction within that first sentence. And the conjunction is and, right? Which connects France and Spain. I have a pet dog and my cousin does too. We need to choose the coordinating conjunction within that sentence. I have a pet dog and my cousin does too, right? Shows that both of us have pet dogs, not just me, but my cousin too. Too. I have a, okay, we have that one. So that is when we use and, right? Now, when we use but, we use but to show a contrast, right? We use and to connect words. So if we use but to show contrast, right? Then, for example, my brother loves apple but hates apple pie, like me. So my brother loves apples but hates apple pie. So the but, right, is there to show contrast, either between the words, phrases, or sentences. When do we use or? We use or to show a choice, this or that. It is choices. So we use or to show a choice. Today we can go to the beach or the park. It's like options. You can finish your work now or you can finish it after school. Options. And when do we use so? We use so to tell that something happens because of something else. So we use so to tell that something happens because of something else. I forgot to set my alarm, so I was late for school. I forgot to set my alarm, so I was late for school. And we said that we use so to tell that something happens because of something else. I forgot to set my alarm, so I was late for school. So is there that connects the simple sentences. All right, so yeah, if we look at this, let's go to the first one. Complete the sentences with the best conjunction. Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jean. He bought a new pair. So Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jeans. He bought a new pair, right? So why do we even think that he bought a new pair? So we're going to say Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jean. So he bought a new one. So we're going to say so. So since his first jean was ripped, he then ended up buying a new pair of jeans. And so is there. All right. The cabin was cold. The cabin was cold. We lit a fire in the fireplace. We need to choose the correct coordinating conjunction that best fits that sentence. The cabin was cold. We lit a fire in the fireplace. So which means that we are using so. So the cabin was cold, so we lit a fire in the fireplace. So is the coordinating conjunction within that sentence. So, all right. I put new batteries in my camera. I put new batteries in my camera. It still doesn't work. So I put new batteries in my camera. It still doesn't work, which means that yet it still doesn't work. So with all the efforts of buying batteries, the camera is still not working. All right. All right, so we're going to go to a whiteboard and then we're first going to do the activities over here before we go to our last test. Here is a box, right, on the proper coordinating conjunctions as well as their examples, right? I remember we see the common ones are and, but, or so, right? That is the common ones. But of course, there are more conjunctions, but eventually you will learn that. For now, it is only the four that we are going to focus on. So, for example, for, right? For, the conjunction for, we listened eagerly, for he brought news of our families. There we have the one for and. She didn't speak to anyone, and nobody spoke to her, right? Nor. I don't expect children to be rude, nor do I expect to be dishonest. But they rushed to the hospital, but they were too late. I will go shopping, or I will go camping. It's like options, this or that. All right, let's go to our test. We click on the test, which is begin test. We are beginning test. All right. So you need to use coordinating conjunctions, right? It says, my tennis shoes. You need to complete the sentence with the base conjunction. My new tennis shoes were too snug. I exchanged them for a larger size. Is it so or is it all? My new tennis shoes were too snug. So I exchanged them for a larger size, or so I exchanged them for a larger size. We need to choose between the best coordinating conjunctions, which is so and which is or. My new tennis shoes were too snug. Let's say so. Oopsie. So is our correct word. Where is my mouse? Even. So we use the word so. I am not trying to find my mouse. I apologize. So our correct answer is going to be so I exchanged them for a larger size. So I apologize. All right, so Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jeans. Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jeans. He bought a new pair. Or he bought a new pair, or so he bought a new pair. We need to choose the correct or best conjunction to complete the sentence. So Mark ripped a hole in his favorite jeans. He bought a new pair. Is it or he bought a new pair or so he bought a new pair? We need to choose the correct one. All right. He ripped the favorite ones, so he bought a new pair. The audience couldn't hear Maria. Is it or so she moved closer to the microphone? The audience couldn't hear Maria. She moved closer to the microphone. So since the audience couldn't hear her, so she moved closer to the microphone. For the next activity, please form groups of two, three people each. We need to choose the base conjunction between or so. So for this next activity, please form groups of two or three people each, or is it please form groups of two, so three people each? And in this case, we are going to say choose two or three people. Two or three, and that is the base conjunction, pardon, to complete the sentence. Justin won a giant stuffed elephant. Justin won a giant stuffed elephant. A beach ball at the carnival. which means that he won a stuffed animal and a beach ball at the carnival. Two things, not just one. The bushes had grown too tall. The bushes had grown too tall. Mrs. Hickman trimmed them. We need to choose the best possible conjunction to complete the sentence. Is it or is it so? The bushes had grown too tall, or Mrs. Hickman trimmed them. So Mrs. Hickman trimmed them. All right, so we choose so. So the bushes were tall, so she had to trim them. The cabin was cold, so we lit a fire in the fireplace, or we lit a fire in the fireplace. The cabin was cold, so we lit a fire in the fireplace, or we lit a fire in the fireplace. So since the cabin was cold, so we lit a fire in the fireplace. All right, last one. You may type your essay on a computer or write it out neatly instead, right? So you can choose to either type it or you can choose to write it neatly instead. All right. So that is coordinating conjunctions, where we identified coordinating conjunctions and we said the most common coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or so, and it connects words, phrases, or it even connects simple sentences, right? And we need to also know which possible or best coordinating conjunction to add within the or to use within a specific sentence, right? Some will show contrast, some will add, or so on, right? All right. So now that is the coordinating conjunctions. Can we go to the A plus classes.ca? A plus classes.ca. Once we've gone to the A plus classes.ca, we're going to learning materials, grade 6. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to language arts. Then we're going to practice grammar in this language arts book. So not the first one, the second workbook, the grammar practice workbook. All right, so once we are in the grammar practice workbook, we are going to scroll down to page 32. So we're going to go all down to page 32. Page 32, 3 to 32. All right. So once we are on page 32, right? Page 32 is conjunctions and interjections, right? It says that a conjunction is a word that connects words or group of words in a sentence. The words and, but, and or are coordinating conjunctions. We use and, but, and or to form compound subjects, compound predicates, and compound sentences, right? For example, Mary and I are both students. We can study at school or go to the library. Choices. I stayed at school, but Mary went to the library. So that is the coordinating conjunctions, right? And then we have interjections. But for now, we're just focusing on the conjunctions, not the interjections, because we did the lesson on conjunctions. Here it says you need to underline each conjunction and write whether it forms a compound subject, compound predicate, or compound sentence. So in this case, we're only going to underline the conjunction within the sentence. So only the conjunction. Have you seen or read about the Grand Canyon? So have you seen or read about the Grand Canyon? We need to underline the conjunction. All right, and the conjunction within the sentence is or. Have you seen or read about the Grand Canyon? Rose and Roberta are my best friends. So Rose and Roberta are my best friends. So we can choose the correct conjunction as and. Jose and Roberta. Rinji looked for the book, but he couldn't find it. Rinji looked for the book, but he couldn't find it. Our conjunction is but. The Mississippi River and the Red Sea are huge bodies of water. And is our conjunction within that sentence. The Mississippi River and the Red Sea are huge bodies of water. Atsuko set the table and Susie welcomed the guests. And is the conjunction. Perry played baseball but felt tired afterwards. But is our conjunction, right? So remember, we said that our common conjunctions are and, but, or, and so, right? They didn't mention so within the activity, but so is also one of the conjunctions, right? And the conjunction it either joins a words, it either joins words, phrases, or sentences, right? So that is a conjunction. It joins words, phrases, or it joins sentences, right? All right, so that is our lesson on conjunctions, right? And our chapter that we focused on was coordinating conjunctions. And the lessons that we focused on was identifying conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, and we also learned how to use the coordinating conjunctions within either sentences. So that is the end of our lesson, grade 4. I really hope that you have an amazing evening further. Goodbye.